Safe Berks Virtual Silent Witness Project. The Silent Witness Initiative began in 1990 by a small group of women in Minneapolis who started discussing their anger over the lack of protection for women and the general tolerance of violence in the culture. They formed Arts Action Against Domestic Violence and began working to produce an art exhibit that would represent victims of domestic violence, homicide, and spread awareness regarding how pervasive the issue was. After much debate about how to best represent the victims, the decision was made to create life-size silhouettes that would wear gold shields, which told the name, age, and story of each individual victim. The first exhibit was held in 1991. Since then, the Silent Witness Project has grown, and these displays can be found in all 50 states and 23 countries.
In 2002, Safe Berks embarked on a journey to bring the Silent Witness Project to Berks County in order to raise awareness about the scope of the problem in our own community. Each of our silhouettes bears a shield telling the story of someone who once lived, worked, had neighbors, family, and friends who died violently at the hands of an intimate partner. October has been nationally designated as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Each year, Safe Berks commemorates the victims of domestic violence by exhibiting the Silent Witness Project at local hospitals and college campuses. We also hold a dedication in March with participants carrying the silhouettes and a dedication of shields to those who were killed as a result of domestic violence homicide in the past year. Sadly, due to the COVID-19 restrictions, we are not able to have the exhibit travel or to hold our annual march. Instead, we have created this virtual program which will be shared with colleges, school districts, and hospitals in order to continue to memorialize the victims, comfort and support the families impacted by the death of their loved ones, and continue to shed light on this difficult, often not talked about problem.
Hello, I'm State Senator Judy Schwenk, and I'm here to talk to you about Safe Berks' annual Silent Witness event. While we aren't able to gather and walk in person, I am so grateful to be able to speak to you about this powerful effort and to join in the life-changing work of Safe Berks. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it's fitting that Safe Berks holds an event to remind us that domestic violence is real, all too real for many families during the coronavirus pandemic. These events can and should be emotional for all of us. It's painful to remember the victims of domestic violence who have lost their lives and left behind families and loved ones. But these events can also give us hope. Every single person watching has the capability of being an advocate and an ally for those who may be suffering silently through their abuse, for those trying to escape a domestic violence situation, and for those who are working to rebuild their lives after leaving an abusive relationship. Together, we're working to inform, protect, and support victims of domestic violence. Anyone can be a victim of domestic violence. Too many of us know that. From the happiest couples in public to the next-door neighbors who always decorate for the holidays, or the young couple that has been dating since freshman year of high school. Any person in any type of relationship can be a victim of domestic violence. 2 years ago, we had a major win in Harrisburg with the passing of House Bill 2060, strengthening protection from abuse orders in Pennsylvania. No longer will perpetrators be able to surrender firearms to family members or friends who can just give them back. Getting weapons out of the hands of abusers is essential to protecting victims. Almost 1 million women alive today have been shot or shot at by their partner. This is unacceptable and preventable. We have seen that changes in our laws can keep guns out of the hands of abusers and save lives. I advocate for legislation in Harrisburg to protect victims of domestic violence because I believe that these actions do save lives. Today, we honor and remember the victims of domestic violence. Tomorrow, we continue to work to make our communities safer and more secure. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I want to acknowledge that I was diagnosed with Bell's palsy several months ago, and I'm still slightly challenged with my speaking ability. But through this message, I want to recognize National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Domestic violence is not a private issue. It is, in fact, a pervasive community issue that impacts every socioeconomic group and requires consistent and coordinated effort by law enforcement, the courts, victim advocates, and community partners to both protect those who are survivors as well as to eradicate this problem completely. It is heartbreaking to hear these stories and realize that the victims did not have access to the resources and safety they needed. My heart and my prayers go out to every individual and family affected by domestic violence. In the city of Reading, we do have resources and support necessary through the Safe Berks and other organizations alike. You do not have to go through these battles alone. We hear you, we see you, and we want to help you. With the current pandemic and state of the isolation, the risk of domestic violence are heightened. With caution, Safe Berks is still operating and helping everyone in need. Domestic violence is not limited to physical abuse. It is manifested by manipulating and gaining control of other individuals in a relationship. Safe Berks provides free and confidential services, including shelter to domestic violence and sexual assault survivors. Your well-being and safety is our top priority. We need you and your family safe, happy, and healthy. Break the silence. Your story can help yourself and save others in similar situations. Please be aware of the resources available to you. No one deserves to be in a harmful situation or relationship. We want the best for you and will continue to raise awareness about domestic violence and its harmful effects. The organizations in the city of Reading do a phenomenal job and have the tools to help you with your situation. Together, we can make Reading a safe place to live, learn, work, and play. God bless you, today and always.
My name is Sarah. My mother, Suzanne Rudin, was murdered on February 17th of 2018 by her husband. She was strangled to death. My mother was the strongest person I've ever met. She was incredibly creative, hardworking, compassionate, everything. The death of her impacted myself and my family in so many ways I can't even begin to put to words. Some of the images and thoughts from her case and hearing what happened continue to haunt me to this day. Images I'll never get out of my mind. The loss that I have, the things that my mother will miss, the things that my mother has already missed, I'll never get back. My mother's never gonna see me get married. My mother's never gonna see me have children, excel in life, pursue my dreams, anything. All those things were taken from us in the most brutal manner possible. 958 days it took to get justice. Last Thursday, he finally pled guilty to third-degree murder. It took 958 days. Domestic violence happens all the time, every single day, that people don't pay attention to. You don't notice the signs. If you're going through something, speak up, reach out, say something to somebody. I know it's not easy, but you're not alone. There's so many other people out here that are going through the exact same thing as you. And if you could reach out to somebody, if just like I wish my mother had said something to any of us, maybe she would be here. Reach out, and for everyone else, pay attention. Maybe someone isn't gonna come right out and tell you right away what's going on. look for little signs, look for little inconsistencies, look for anything that might show you something might be off. It might save them and it might keep them here, and you might not be going through what I'm going through right now. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Estela Paulino. I'm here to talk about my two daughters. They've been murdered 2002, June 29, Olivia Montano and 21 years old, and Nelly Martinez, 15 years old. I'm here because I want to talk about how hard it is for me and for Olivia's kids, Jocelyn Soto, Erica Soto, and Carlos Cortez. And I just wanted to tell all these young girls that they have a boyfriend on the marriage, that they been abused, not only like pushing or hitting, verbal abuse is too. That's when you have to find out, you know, that you're in a really bad relationship, that you're in a dangers, that nothing is gonna change, that you need help. You really need help. You need to talk to somebody about what's going on in your life. That way you can get the help on time. What happened was with Olivia, she was being abused all the time for Eric Soto. And I always talk to her about leaving him, but she always says that every time when he do something to her, he comes very nicely and bring gifts and talk to, you know, sweet, and told her that it's not gonna happen again and everything is gonna be okay. But later on that happened again, and every time when that happened, she always tried to run away, but he always find her. But I think he was already very late for her when one day she went to pick him up from jail. He went in jail for a year because he was hitting her. And then he said sorry to her from jail, and then she decided to forgive. And she went to pick him up one day, and after that, and that was not even a week when he killed her. And not only her, he killed my other daughter, Nelly, that she was visiting her that day. So Olivia left 3 kids, very little. Jocelyn was 3 months old, Erica was 1 year, and Carlos 5. So I wanted to talk to you that don't wait until this happened. Don't give it to you parents, your brothers, your sister, this pain that I really feel. Lost my 2 girls at the same time. And you just have to be aware. As soon as they start calling you names, pushing, pulling hair, that's the time you need to ask for help. Thank you.
This is my mom, Olivia Montano, and this is my aunt, Nelly Martinez. So, I'm Jocelyn Soto, the daughter of Olivia Montano, and they were both killed by a relative, and her boyfriend, my father. So when you look for a relationship, make sure you know your values, and make sure he does not push you or harm you in any way. Verbal abuse and abusive is not the way to go, because they'll think they have full control over you. When I look for a boyfriend, I don't want one because you don't know what he could do or what kind of mindset he has. That's some trouble I have, because seeing what happened to seeing what happened to my mother. I'm not sure what could happen to me, and make sure you listen to your mom for what advice she has, because you don't know when your parents could be gone. You could have them today, and they could be gone next week.
The figures you see before you represent Berks County residents who were murdered in acts of domestic violence.
1999. Carmen Garcia. Catherine M. Ahern. Justin A. Dusko.
2000. Kimberly Peffer. Tiffany Schaefer. Jared Klein. Dustin Klein. Julia Marasco. Vincent Marasco. Edna Teddy Bell. Candace Wirtz. John Cortez. Cynthia Jakes. Alyssa Jakes. Erica Martez.
2001. Jamie Dvorak. Carrie Adam.
2002. Marilyn G. Leiby. James A. Beeler. Olivia Montano. Nellie Martinez.
2003. Anne Marie Nancy Scherer. Lady Shearder Bonanno.
2004. Kathleen Jenks. Kimberly Jenks. Jason Stewart. Venus D. Marsh.
2005. Barbie West Torres. Marcia M. Smith.
2006. Donna Kramer.
2007. Audrey Giannotti. Ducelis Diaz. Kayla Diaz. Sonia Medina.
2008. Kathy Liebig. Lori Ann Hauser. Amy Kramer.
2009. Maria Serrano. Maria Albers Cosme.
2010. Cheryl Okafor. Karen Renee Candy Wanner.
2011. Joan Marie Wagner. Jennifer Snyder. Rosario Santana.
2012. Christine McGee.
Pets. Isabella King.
2014. Alexis Norgueras Torres.
2015. Johnny M. Branford. Mary Branford. Denise McAvoy, Stacy Beilhart.
2016. Megan Short, Liana Short, Mark Short Jr., Willow Short, Pebbles Short.
2017. Nicole Monderwitz, Tara Serino, Catherine Kreibel, Stephen J. Kreibel.
2018. Suzanne Rudin, Maureen Talker, Ranciel Natera.
2019. Farah Wertz, Joy Strunk, Joanne DeLuca, Ira Reed Jr.
2020. Christina Marie Blackburn, also known as Chrissy. Melissa Gonzalez Torres. Randall Wickheiser.
The uncounted victim. She lived and worked among us in Berks County. She was a wife, mother, sister, friend, and co-worker. The telephone was in her hand. She was calling for help when she died in her home. She was killed by someone she loved. Her death was ruled accidental. No charges were ever filed. Remember my story. Remember my name.
No se alejen, no cierren los ojos, mis amigas, es hora de reconocer que hay mucho que hacer. Extiendan las manos, curaremos el dolor aquí en la tierra, estaremos de pie.
If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, Safe Berks is here to help. Safe Berks is the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Crisis Center for all Berks County residents. Safe Berks offers many different services to victims of domestic violence or sexual assault and their family members, including counseling services, legal services, and crisis services, which includes shelter. The Education Department of Safe Berks is here to offer training and awareness presentations to any local businesses, schools, and community organizations. All Safe Berks services are free and confidential. We are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can reach us by calling our toll-free hotline at 844-789-SAFE, that's 844-789-7233, or texting the word Safe Berks to 20121. Safe Berks is here to help.